This podcast is sponsored by BuyBiz.io. Discover premium AI-driven online businesses for sale, perfect for standalone growth or seamless integration. Explore now at BuyBiz.io to kickstart your digital success.
Taxable events in business ownership transfer. What you need to know. Understanding taxable events during business ownership transfers helps you plan smartly and avoid surprises when selling or gifting your business. What happens to taxes when you transfer business ownership? Hey there, imagine you're chatting with a friend over coffee and someone brings up this somewhat tricky topic. What actually happens in terms of taxes when you transfer ownership of a business? It can sound dry at first, but honestly, it's pretty interesting and important, especially if you're thinking about buying or selling a business. So, let me break it down for you in a way that won't make your eyes glaze over. First off, when we talk about a business ownership transfer, this could mean a few things: selling the entire business, handing down part of it to a family member, or even merging with another company. No matter which way you slice it, there's usually some sort of taxable event involved, which means the IRS wants its share. And sometimes, that share can be surprising if you're not prepared. What exactly is a taxable event? So here's the deal. A taxable event is basically any transaction or occurrence that triggers tax consequences. When you transfer ownership of a business, certain parts of that deal can create taxes you need to pay. Some examples include sale of assets. This could be equipment, real estate, or even inventory. Transfer of stock or membership interests, like selling your shares in the company. Gift or inheritance. Passing ownership to someone without payment involved could trigger gift or estate taxes. Now, let's walk through some of the common scenarios so you get the full picture. 1. Sale of business assets. When a business owner sells assets, whether it's the business's physical things or intangible assets like patents and trademarks, the difference between what was paid for those assets, the basis, and the selling price could mean capital gains tax. Here's a quick example. You bought equipment for $10,000 years ago. You sell that equipment for $15,000 when transferring ownership. The $5,000 gain might be subject to capital gains tax. That tax rate depends on whether it's short-term or long-term, but generally, long-term gains get friendlier rates. 2. Selling ownership interest, shares or membership interests. Sometimes, you're not selling the business assets directly, but rather your shares or membership interests in the business entity. For corporations, that means stock. For LLCs or partnerships, it could be membership interests or partnership shares. When you sell your ownership interest, you typically face capital gains tax on the difference between your basis in the shares and the sale price. But there's a twist. How you held that interest matters. As corporation shareholders, they may have to pay tax on both gain and possibly on undistributed earnings. Partnership or LLC members. They might have more complicated tax responsibilities, including potential built-in gains taxes. 3. Gifting or inheriting business ownership. Transferring business ownership to family members can also get complex. Gifting your business interests can trigger gift taxes if the value goes over certain thresholds. Alternatively, if your heirs inherit the business after you pass, estate taxes might apply, depending on the size of your estate and current exemptions. One positive thing: inherited property typically gets a step-up in basis, which can reduce future capital gains taxes for the heir. It's a nifty benefit, but the estate tax planning can be tricky and often requires professional advice. Key takeaway: plan ahead to avoid surprises. The big theme here is that there are several points in ownership transfer where taxes come into play, and understanding those points can save you a lot of headaches and dollars down the road. Whether you're selling your business or handing it over to someone else, planning with tax implications in mind is crucial. If you're in the market to buy or sell a business, it's not just about what the business is worth, but also understanding the tax impacts of the transaction type, asset sale versus stock sale, gift versus sale, and so on. Why not check out some ready-made opportunities? Speaking of buying and selling businesses, if you've ever thought about jumping into entrepreneurship or expanding your portfolio, Archie Boy Holdings' AI-based businesses for sale offers a cool selection of high-tech, AI-focused businesses. These aren't your typical mom-and-pop shops. They're modern, forward-thinking ventures that could be a smart move for anyone looking at the future of business ownership. You can explore our listings today. Whether you're a seasoned investor or just curious about AI-driven businesses, checking out what's available could give you ideas or even spark that next big opportunity. Remember, when you're looking at these businesses, think about how the ownership transfer might affect you tax-wise. Doing your homework early never hurts. Wrapping up. So, next time someone mentions transferring business ownership and you hear the word taxes, don't run away. Instead, think about it as just another part of the puzzle when moving a company from one owner to another. There's a lot to consider, but with the right knowledge and planning, you can handle it like a pro, or at least not get blindsided by unexpected tax bills. All right, that's enough business talk for now. Catch you later with more insights that actually matter.